Hello, I'm L.D. Curran, a lay member of the Altamont Church, and I'm going to visit with you a few minutes relative to welcoming a new pastor to your church or to our church. I've served in nearly every position in our church, all the way from the chairperson to the administrative board to historian, even assisted with the custodial work. Each position has been very rewarding. In real life, I was superintendent of schools at Lebec County USD 506 for 30 years. In that position, we regularly recruited teachers to our school district. We tried to build programs so that the teacher would feel comfortable in the district and to retain the good teachers over a long period of time. Although I understand that pastors are assigned by the conference and that both the pastor and the receiving church know the expectations of the discipline relative to the pastor's relationship with the church. However, I've found that welcoming a new pastor is much the same as welcoming a new teacher. As with new teachers, pastors need to feel comfortable, welcome, and feel that he or she has the full support of the church and the community. Everyone likes to feel wanted or welcome, regardless of the fact of an assignment. Thus, I believe that it's valuable to both the incoming pastor and to the receiving church to do some things to enhance that welcome and to give the pastor and the church a running start on the relationship that is being built. A well-planned pastor incoming program will pay big dividends. First, in enhancing the bonding between the pastor and the church, and beyond that, giving the new pastor a sense of belonging at the start, and not put them in the position of feeling that they have to earn the acceptance. Then selfishly, I think that this provides the local church with the opportunity to put one's best foot forward and to tell their story first. Your church story will be told, and it's best to get your story in first. Again, selfishly, it provides the local church with a little feelings of local control or in charge of their own destiny. Several things that I feel are important on receiving a new pastor into the church that I think should be done. This is based on personal experience that I've had with pastors that's come to our church and with pastors that I've talked to going to church assignments. The transition should not be left to an, "oh, I'll take care of that." It should be planned very carefully and well-orchestrated activity, planned well in advance with specific assignments made and carried out. I feel that it's one of the most important activities that one can do to assist a new pastor. This can be done either by your PPR committee, or by a hosting committee, or by the social committee, or by any committee that you already have. But I feel it's usually best done by an ad hoc committee who has the interest and the time at the moment that it has to be done. It sure would perhaps be good to have someone who knows knows the pastor personally, if there is such an acquaintance in your group. As soon as the appointment's announced, be sure that a welcome letter is sent to the new pastor. Welcome the pastor to the community, offer to give them a guided tour of the community, offer assistance with the move. Don't be offended if the pastor elects not to do that. That's up to them. But you've made the offer. Include some details, brochures, flyers, printed information about your church, about the community, and about the schools in your area, and the schools that their children, if they have children, would be attending. Ask if there are any special needs for the family. Provide a couple of contact phone numbers that can provide assistance to the pastor and the family when they need it. Then, either with the initial contact or a few days later, do a follow-up note with an assurance of what's being done about housing or the parsonage or assisting with housing. If you have a parsonage, be certain that it is clean, functional, a welcome place in which to live, something that you would like to move into yourself. The work that is being done or will be done on the parsonage should be spoken to, or offer assistance with finding housing with a recommendation of realtors or helping them to look for housing if that is what your church does. Send a list of the utility companies to the pastors so that they can make the contacts and for the connectings on their utilities. Send phone numbers so that he or she can call on those. Better yet, if your church does the utilities, which some churches do, see that the hookups are done and the deposits are made well ahead of time. And it's best if all the utilities can be on when the pastor shows up on that moving day. Find out what day the move's scheduled. If the pastor and or the family arrive ahead of the moving van, offer guest facilities and any meals that would be appropriate or in order, preferably in a member's home rather than in a church or with a larger group or at other areas. For the convenience of the pastor and the family, the location should be relatively close to the parsonage. Provide child care for any small ones during the moving day. Offer assistance with unloading, providing sandwiches and cookies and pop or coffee or whatever might be appropriate when the van arrives. Provide an evening meal of the day of moving for your pastor. I think a member's home is better than a church gathering, something that does not take a lot of time. The pastor and his family are very busy on this day, on moving and getting unloaded and setting up their new home. This should be an eat and run type of meal rather than a social hour. There will be time later to socialize. Try not to have a church activity for your pastor on the day that they move. The responsibility of the pastor on moving day is heavy and busy, and they really don't need church business on the day that they move. Then follow up the moving day a day or two later to be sure that needs are being met and that the pastor has everything that they need to get settled in. One of the things that we did as a school district that I think was extremely important and valuable to the new incoming personnel is we did a mid-period pay day. We would offer to divide the first month's salary to provide financial assistance if it were needed. Teachers had moving costs and pastors have moving costs. And there are costs involved if they're coming directly from school. And sometimes the pastors or a new teacher shows up with very little revenue available. An advance of the salary can be made on that first 2 or 3 days to help them get settled in, to help with the utilities, to help with getting started. This list isn't an all-inclusive list, but I think it gives you an idea of what I think falls into what my mother said about do unto others. I think it's important that we make the new pastors feel comfortable in their setting. I think it's important that we build a relationship very early with new pastors and provide them assistance. And oh, by the way, I think it is also important that we provide an outgoing program for our pastor that is leaving also. I'd like to thank you for your time. I hope what we visited about is valuable for you, and I hope that you have good luck wish you good luck for you and your pastor in the next assignment. Thank you.